admits that there are more than 2,000 people employed in the public service with fake certificates. Isn't that an indication of a failed system? How did they go through the entire vetting system and get employed all this time, only to be noticed now that 2,000 of them have fake certificates?
Trevor, you know, sometimes we have to be honest to ourselves. We are coming from a system which was very manual. And everybody knows, like in our time, if I'm seeking an employment or a job anywhere else, I would be told to go to school and pick my living certificates. I would be good to go to school to go and pick my my scores, you know, my transcripts from the university were all manual, okay? So for those of us who are in the straight and narrow, we will go, if we had school fees arrears, we would beg the teachers, we would talk to the headmaster, we would use leaders to get those certificates out. But for those who are a bit Nairobi-like kind of life in terms of wisdom, the street wisdom, let me call it, they would go and say, okay, I know my living certificate looks like this. They go to some place in Grogan and they make those certificates. Now, we are dealing with a system that is totally, technologically behind. So you would find that even the people who are doing interviews, they didn't have due diligence. Governments at that time, in our time, you would even get a job even before you finish your university degree, depending on what kind of a degree you're doing.
Or depending on who you knew.
Well, in our time, it wasn't really who you knew. Maybe those ones came later. There was a time when they are waiting for you, you know. So I want to say that some of those jobs are pensionable, permanent and pensionable, PNP. Some of those jobs are contractual. Now, we have come into a new system where now people will even look at your, they just don't tell you bring transcript, they tell you certified copy. So that means somebody has to check them. Even you yourself, like in government jobs, you are supposed to swear some affidavits that the information you are giving is true. You yourself, you're supposed to go and get clearance from the ethics and anti-corruption. And the documentation you bring, some of the employers are even looking at your internet to see what are your activities in the social media, to show that if you say you had a degree, you know, there are people who knew you and there were pictures you took when you were in university. Now, those facilities were not there. So I think a lot of people, and there are a lot of crooked people around, took advantage of a system that doesn't work. So from where I sit, the problem is inherited. Many of the new people who are on jobs now, the kind of due diligence that employers demand, it is very difficult for you to go and create a certificate and come with it because they will find out. They even ask from the university. And the universities don't keep manual records anymore. It is actually properly done. So someone can easily just check and say, oh, this one was in this graduation class. Yeah. So I think we have to agree that technology has taken us to a place where we are more transparent than we used to be. Okay. And therefore, now with the new technology that is there, we have to go backwards and find out who are these people who took advantage of the system that was broken. Now, I will give you an example. At some point in my life, I was appointed the chair of Kenya Ports Authority. We started that process of looking into integrity issues with the employees at Kenya Ports Authority. And I was shocked. You know, if you have lived a life, you know, that you know to get a certificate, you have to work hard, you've been told by your parents, and that's how you are brought up. Then you come and discover, oh no, the head of that department, he never went to school. He crooked his certificates. They don't know him at the Kenya National Examination Council. Or it was his brother or his cousin who sat for that paper. And apparently within that department, there are people who would know. Yeah. So this information started coming out. And what did we do? what we did then, I personally felt very sympathetic because some of these people had then acquired a lot of experience and knowledge, and they were very good workers, but they were crooks, okay, because they got those jobs using a fake certificate. Yeah. So what did we do? I said, let us give an opportunity for people to resign voluntarily. Okay, and that decision was adopted so that if by this date, we had a cut-off date, by this date, if you haven't tendered your resignation and you know you took a fake certificate, then we will come for you. Now, firing or sacking has different legal implications as opposed to, dismissal has different legal implications in labor law as opposed to voluntary retirement. Okay. So I gave that opportunity, and many of them who are wise took the opportunity. But, with the board, we agreed that let's give an opportunity to this because some of them really were good. Now, for those who decided to stay on, then they faced the law as it is provided for.